I'll be honest, I've never really enjoyed watching James Harden play basketball. That style of play doesn't appeal to me too much. It's my personal preference. If you're a James Harden fan, I apologize. And pretty much for that reason, I've never really been into like his basketball shoes. Aesthetic wise, I don't think they've ever looked that good anyway for me to break my mold of buying a basketball sneaker for a player that I actually enjoy watching. But when official images of his latest model came out, I couldn't stay away. Especially the colorway that is going to be a celebration of the Year of the Snake for Lunar New Year. Yeah, I had to get them. Adidas Harden Volume 9 Year of the Snake. The shoe dropped on December 26th for $160. It was a China exclusive. You can get it online if you really want this shoe, but don't expect it to come out on the adidas.com United States version. And of course, the shoe is to celebrate the Year of the Snake. It is in celebration for Lunar New Year. Yeah, like I said at the intro of my video, I've never really been a huge fan of James Harden's shoes, just in terms of aesthetics, performance aside, not even talking about that. Aesthetically, I've never really loved them. But when I first saw the design of these shoes and the official photos come out, I thought they looked really good. Really sleek. I love the monochromatic design. I love the use of negative space with the 3 stripes on the upper of the shoe. Yeah, easily, just looks wise, my favorite in terms of all of James Harden's shoes. Is purple like my favorite color on sneakers? Definitely not. But for whatever reason, I think it works really well with the black material on the shoe and the little hints of red on the pull tab. Looks wise compared to like the A1s, which a lot of people liked. Honestly, for me, it's pretty close. Like they're both very sleek looking. I think the A1s might be a bit more unique. Just that honeycomb design just maybe stands out a bit more. But yeah, it's close. 6 total colorways have been announced so far with official images. I can't really find a bad one out of the 6 that have been announced, or however many that has been announced. They all look really good. There's that like silver metallic looking one that looks super sleek and delicious. Yeah, they have not really missed on any colorways announced so far. They might hit it out the park again in terms of colorways for this shoe. The A1s had no bad colorways. I wouldn't be surprised if the Volume 9s kind of followed in the same footsteps. And the upper of the shoe, it is the synthetic textile material, and you'll see that they used like the snake skin type of pattern all across the upper, but it's not very like in your face. It's very subtle. Kind of have to be up close in person to notice it. So I like that storytelling there. And under it, it is mesh, and you can see this very cool design. It incorporates the 3 stripes of Adidas onto the upper of the shoe. And I feel like that use of negative space just looks very cool. Very well done in terms of the upper of the shoe. Now moving on to the tongue of the shoe, you'll see this is like an inner booty sleeve system, and I'll get to more on sizing and comfort later. But that feels pretty nice around your feet. It wraps pretty snugly around your feet. And you'll see 2 pull tabs. This shoe, kind of like the AE1s, can be a little bit difficult to put on, especially for us wide footers, can be pretty annoying. So I definitely use the pull tabs. Came in very handy on this shoe. So usually for aesthetics, I don't love like 2 pull tabs on shoes. I feel like 1 is enough in terms of the look, but functionally, practically speaking, the 2 pull tabs, kind of a lifesaver. And then wrapping around to the booty of the shoe, you'll see James Harden's logo, and this heel counter is actually not carbon fiber. It's made to look like carbon fiber. And I will say this doesn't feel as sturdy and stiff as like the double faux carbon fiber plate that you found on the AE1s. And I'll get more to support later, but I do like how that logo looks on that part of the shoe. Now, one thing that might actually be a good thing for some people, but I think maybe lacked a little bit, is the Year of the Snake. Apart from the snake skin very subtly on the upper, there was no other like Lunar New Year, Year of the Snake kind of references on the shoe. Again, don't know if that's a weakness or a strength, but subtlety is very nice sometimes. Over branding or like doing too much can be annoying. But yeah, just something I wanted to point out. Now the shoe doesn't come with any extra laces, just black laces out of the box with these yellow lace tips. If I had to choose another color, I think white would actually make the shoe pop a little bit more. But yeah, black totally makes sense, looks great. But speaking of the lace tips, I will say, because these aren't like super cheap plasticky lace tips that you see on a lot of sneakers, it's a little heavier, so it feels slightly better in hand. That's a bonus. But it can also get kind of annoying because when you're playing, you can feel it like tap against the upper of the shoe. Not like a huge deal breaker or anything, but if you care about that, Just keep that in mind. Now in terms of the cushioning for the shoe, just like the AE1s, you never really know what the actual cushioning is, judging from the specifications listed on the website. But because this is a China exclusive, this shoe, the Harden Volume 9, actually hasn't dropped yet in the United States. So when you go on adidas.com, you actually can't find the shoe. So there's no specs on there. But I went to the Chinese website and they do mention that the cushioning uses Boost as well as Light Strike. Now we know from the AE1s, even though Adidas lists that on their website, it actually just featured full-length Jet Boost. And I suspect this is probably the case for the shoe as well. It feels very similar in terms of the cushioning compared to the AE1s. You can definitely see the Boost poking out in certain parts of the shoe. And the cushioning itself, it's not like too soft or too plush where you feel like you're kind of stuck when you're trying to explode off your feet, especially for like quick and agile guards. You don't really want that. It also uses Adidas's torsional plate system that extends all the way up to the forefoot. Now, some people might complain that that is a little stiff, especially when you first wear the shoe. But what that does do is give it better support, and it also helps with kinetic energy return. So I feel like the responsiveness for the shoe is really well done. And one good thing also about that plate is that it really helps with torsional rigidity. You do not want your basketball sneakers to bend very easily or twist. You want to keep it locked in place. This shoe doesn't feel as low profile to the ground as the AE1s. I actually kind of like that. When I was younger, I really liked shoes that were super flat, like gives me super close to the court feel. But as I get older, I do like a bit of separation, not too close to the ground, slightly more padded in terms of the cushioning. I feel like that just gives my older knees some peace of mind. So I do prefer this type of setup. But the cushioning, it does feel very similar to the AE1 mids. Now in terms of the traction of the shoe, you get this radial concentric circle pattern, and you get these two concentric circles at very specific points of your feet. That is very useful in terms of like grip for lateral movement. I really prioritize really good traction on shoes. Traction wise, this is really well done. It does retain and attract quite a bit of dust. That translucent material can do that. But in terms of just traction and a vacuum, this really works. I have no complaints. I don't play in like the most clean gym that's pristine, but I had no problems like cutting, stopping on a dime. Felt great. Now, if you were contemplating using this for outdoor use, I will say the rubber is not like the thickest and sturdiest. It does feel kind of soft, so I probably wouldn't do that. Definitely just recommend this for indoor use. So I actually weighed the shoes. The A1 was 1 pound and 19 ounces. This one, 15 ounces. But usually I don't complain about weight on my feet for basketball sneakers anyway. It's not like a huge priority for me. The insoles of the shoe, it is mismatched. On the right shoe, you'll get Adidas Basketball with a snake wrapping around the 3 stripes. And on the left shoe, you'll see the words James Harden, August 26, 1989, Los Angeles, California, US. Now I can't really pull these insoles out. They're glued very tightly, especially at the front of the shoe, but I can feel the quality of the insoles. It's pretty much hot garbage. And the box of the shoe, just a regular 3 stripes Adidas box. I think they missed an opportunity here to like really do some storytelling with the year of the snake, make it a bit more special. But regular Harden box. You'll see on one side, Adidas Basketball, Harden Volume 9, designed in Los Angeles, California. That is where James Harden grew up. Now moving on to sizing, fit, and support. I go true to size for the shoe. I think it fits pretty well for my wide and fat feet. Lengthwise, widthwise, no real problems. I know some people did find the AE1s a bit too wide, especially in the toe box area. I didn't have any problems with this shoe. There is slightly less dead space in the toe box area for me compared to the AE1s, so you might prefer that. But for the AE1s, I still go true to size just because I'm a wide footer. Can't really go down half a size. That would really hurt the arches of my feet. So I recommend sticking true to size for the shoe if you have wide and fat feet. And I do have to mention there is an eyelet at the very top of the shoe. I definitely use that to minimize like heel slippage, something that I can struggle with because as a wide footer, you can't really get the length and width like perfectly proportional to your feet. So heel slippage can be a thing in quite a few basketball shoes, but that eyelet really helps. But it is also my biggest complaint about this shoe. For whatever reason, the materials, the way it's placed, the position of this eyelet, when you first break it in, at least for the initial hour, it really dug into my ankles. Like it really started to hurt that area of my feet. It got slightly better, or at least I probably just got used to it as time went on, but I definitely felt it. And it was just concentrated on the medial side of the shoe, so not on the lateral side, the medial side. It just really hurt that area. Even with the inner booty in between it, yeah, I did not like it. Now in terms of overall just support and containment, The booty keeps your feet pretty well locked in place, as well as the materials on the shoe. When I was moving side to side, didn't really feel like my foot was gonna bust out, but I do caution, I'm a very lightweight player. That's never really gonna be a problem for me with shoes. Never really gonna feel like, you know, Zion Williamson wearing his Nikes, busting his foot out. And you'll see the way the shoe is designed, you can't see the midsole of the shoe. The outsole extends onto the upper. That also provides some additional support there. And I do kind of like that design choice there. You feel seamless with the shoe. So overall containment, lockdown, and support, it is great. Now, usually for casual and retro sneakers, I give it a sole score. For basketball shoes, I don't really give it a sole score. It doesn't really make sense for a performance sneaker. But I do have a final verdict of the Adidas Harden Volume 9 Year of the Snake. I nearly said Year of the Dragon, but we are in 2025. Year of the Snake. It's very decent. I think it's very nice. I don't know if it's like a huge upgrade from the Volume 8s, but for me, that's someone that never really liked James Harden's basketball shoes just off design alone. I'm glad that this shoe exists. Cushioning wise, it's very good. If you enjoyed the AE1 cushioning, you're gonna have no problems with this. In terms of the traction, it's pretty outstanding as well. The translucent kind of material can retain dust, but if you keep it in at the very least, just a decently maintained gym, you're gonna have no problems, but definitely don't take it outdoors. Fit and lockdown are great as well. I am a light player, never really have too many problems with like containment or support, to be honest. But overall, I think this is a very nice shoe to ball in. Compared to last year's stand-up, the AE1s, not gonna compare to the Volume 8s. I don't have too much experience with that. If I compare it to the AE1s, I didn't like the AE1 lows. I made a whole video comparing the mids to the lows, and I'll explain why in that video. If you're interested, check out that video. So I'm only comparing it to the A1 mids, but yeah, just off that top eyelet on the medial side of the shoe, that really hurt my feet. Just off that alone, I'm gonna have to go with the A1s. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Adidas Harden Volume 9 Year of the Snake. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come the way of shoes.